I got it. Okay, Nancy, we need motion 11, to exit the closed session discussion and re-enter the open work session.
I'm second.
14.
We're not going back afterwards, right?
No,
Okay. So then we just need number 14.
14.
So you need motion to exit closed session
And re-enter the open work session.
and to re-enter the work session.
Second.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Boonstra?
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
I'll take a motion to adjourn the work session.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Boonstra?
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Ready for the business meeting? Okay, the regular business meeting of the Wyckoff Township Committee for Tuesday, December 20th, 2022 is now in session. Everyone rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I remain standing. I'll do a brief invocation. Father in heaven, we thank thee for the blessings that we enjoy here. We thank you for the year that we have just completed. And we ask your blessings and wisdom for the year upon we are about to embark. All this in your name, amen.
This regular business meeting of the Township Committee of the Township of Wyckoff is now in session. In accordance with Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, I wish to advise that notice of this meeting has been posted on the bulletin board in Memorial Town Hall and on our Township Committee website page. A copy has been filed with the municipal clerk, and copies were emailed to the Ridgewood News, the Record, and to the North Jersey Herald News, all newspapers with a general circulation throughout the Township of Wyckoff. At least 48 hours prior to this meeting, the agenda was similarly posted, filed, and emailed to said newspapers. Take a roll call. Mr. Madigan?
Here.
Mr. Melchiong?
Here.
Mr. Shanley?
Here.
And Mayor Boonstra?
Here. I will take a motion to open the business meeting for public comment. 5 minutes per speaker. Public comment, any governmental issue that a member of the public feels may be of concern to the residents of the Township of Wyckoff.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Madigan?
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Boonstra?
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Okay. Mrs. Toomey is ready to go. Just let me make my announcement here. Please step forward to the microphone and state your name and address, or call 201-891-7000, extension 2220 if you wish to make contact.
Thank you very much. My name is Janet Toomey, 501A Aspen Lane in Wyckoff. I was going to say Ridgewood. Wyckoff. And I wanted to congratulate you all. This is my first year in my position as a representative from Spring Meadow. And I really am very impressed with all the work that you do. It is amazing, because I know you must be busy almost every night of the week. I can't imagine going to all these events all the time. And I am very, very impressed, pleased that Wyckoff has such wonderful people that help them and work for them and care for the town. It's wonderful. It really is. I had experience in Ridgewood. I went to the planning board meetings for 5 years, never missed one. And that was the famous one of recent years. And aside from that, I really did, and of course, I knew about the Board of Education meetings there, too. But yours is a wonderful committee, and I'm very pleased to hear all the things you have to say. And I congratulate you, Mr. Mayor. I love you being the mayor, and that's good. He's a wonderful fellow. And
Some might disagree with you, but.
well, it's Christmas time, we have to say. We're in very good spirits. Okay, but a downer, but I mean, this is amazing. This was in the paper 2 weeks ago, and in all places, because this is an expensive ad, it was in the Record. And the Record has been a pamphlet, unfortunately, for quite a while. You forgive me for saying that, but it's getting better. I read the Wall Street Journal and sometimes the Times. But this is an association of doctors who warn against cannabis and marijuana and are dedicated to educating the public on marijuana. And I won't read the whole thing, although it's very short, but I will read what they have to say. It's an international academy on the science and impact of cannabis. It's a medical organization of doctors who educate on marijuana based on the scientific and medical literature. IASIC is a nonpartisan, non-political group created to facilitate informed decisions when considering cannabis policy and law. It is our conclusion, based on review of the scientific evidence, that public health effects of commercial cannabis on American health are harmful. These growing negative impacts further stain healthcare and addiction treatment resources to an extent that are far surpassed taxation revenues. Thousands of peer-reviewed medical articles have been published on the harms of cannabis and marijuana. Reviews of the medical benefits of cannabis published in the highly ranked journals reveal only limited benefits of a few conditions, and generally do not consider long-term consequences, including emergency room visits. I am an ex-ER nurse. I know that firsthand. I worked at Valley, and it causes psychosis, it causes suicide, brain development, neonatal exposure, brain development in neonatal exposure, opioid use, traffic fatalities, high potency, problematic, and youth use cannabis hyperemesis syndrome, that means terrible vomiting, heart and lung disease, testicular cancer. And then it goes on, and the conclusions, of course, are saying there are so many sides of the marijuana debate, and we call attention to the growing scientists on the public health issue. Tobacco was promoted as a relatively harmless before nicotine addiction became ubiquitous and the link to lung cancer was proven. The opioid industry marketed its drugs as non-addictive and safe in the early 1990s. We are still paying the price for that. Let's learn from our historical mistakes and do not repeat them with marijuana. And you know, addiction and deaths have been caused by marijuana, especially with young people using it and getting into accidents. They can see that right away in Colorado. And so we're going to get more small reports like this, easy for everybody to understand. And I'm so thrilled about this, that it's clear, it's in everybody's language. And you know, and they say addiction is one of the major problems, and that they recognize that Doctors Medical Society suggests the following warning label: cannabis THC may cause impaired driving, addiction, psychosis, suicide or self-harm, uncontrollable vomiting, harm developing to the nursing or infant baby. And so that's as plain as it could be, and they have all the evidence to prove that. And these are all doctors and scientists that are working together on that. And any kind of an establishment of an agency in our town that would support cannabis use in any way would be saying it's okay to do that, in my mind, and has no benefit whatsoever. It will harm everyone. So, as you can see, I feel very strongly about this. And I didn't even have to go into my journals or anything. It's out here all the time.
Was that in
And
the
it-
record?
I think of the record, yeah. And it was only a couple of weeks ago. I was shocked to see it.
Yeah, okay.
And,
Can you
because
leave
this
that
is,
copy?
beg your pardon?
Could you leave that for us?
Will you Let me
Yes.
take a photo of it.
Yes, I will. Yeah, sure. I'll give it to you, Nancy. Yeah, because I only have the journal in my house, and I have I record Tuesdays and Saturdays. I decreased it, and occasionally the Times. So, you know, that was the record. I was surprised that it was there. I have one serious issue, though, before the end of the year to burden you with. A couple of the people in my community, and of course I never thought of this because it's not my thinking, generally speaking. I was worried about how the look of the back area of our development is, and what a big job that is for you, I know, and all of you, to get it straightened out. But one gentleman who's a very thoughtful man, he said, I keep looking at that place and worrying about some kind maybe of a lightning strike or something, and all of that falling timber, because there's a lot of falling timber in the back of that area.
That's that large berm they built between your
Yes,
your
yes,
condos and the parking lot back
yes, yes. It's,
Those are all new plantings, it can't be fallen trees.
Ah, yes, there are. Yes, in his side, this man's side of that end of that area, yes.
I can tell you, it's whatever the policy, this committee is the policy of this committee, but when we planned for that berm, there was never an intention to weed it or maintain it. We wanted it to be overgrown like a
there.
jungle.
We
That
wanted
was the
it to be
testimony.
in its wild state and
Right.
provide that type of
And it was-
dense screening.
Correct, that's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Oh, that's interesting. A bit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But it looked beautiful when it didn't have all the weeds. I mean, you can't even see the beautiful trees and the, you can't, you're right. You did what you wanted to do,
It
but
kind of turned out the way that it was planned for it to turn out. Now, if that's creating other problems, that's a different story. But
Yeah.
that was, as Mr. Landell indicated, that was the intention.
Oh.
That it would be wild and very
Yeah.
lush and a great screening,
Dense.
yeah, it
a great
is.
screen for
Yeah.
protecting because the residents there were very concerned about lights in their back.
Yes,
In their
yes,
back, on their
yes.
porches and in
Yes.
their backyard and everything. So that's why that was purposely put in that way.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, now, I don't walk there as much as some others do. I mean, I only go on the path in the back. But they tell me, and I haven't been there because it's too cold, but they tell me that there's a lot of falling timbers back there. He said, oh, you should see it, Janet. And I said, well, I will, but I didn't get a chance to go these last 10 days or so. I was busy. He said there's quite a bit of falling timber there, and he was really worried. He said, we have wooden houses here, and he was worried about that.
I think the falling timber you're probably referring to is not the berm that was built between the parking lot, but the woods even beyond that.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of fallen trees back.
Yeah, that's it.
In the wooded area. That's just
Oh,
a
no,
natural wooded
the
area.
berm is pretty new. Those trees are new, and none of them are falling down that I can see. I mean, there's tons of weeds,
It's the other
but
section, and that we just leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just natural woods.
It's in its
Now
natural
we don't
state.
touch.
Okay.
Right.
And why isn't it going to be touched if it's a danger? I don't know if it is. You have to tell me.
Nature.
You're the people that tell me that.
Anything that's pretty much considered open space and, you know, left to its natural state, we don't touch.
Yeah.
We don't weed it, we don't cut it, we don't
Prune it.
prune it.
Do you think
it
it
back.
is a?
We'd have to go look at it.
We could go look, we could send someone from Shade Tree to go look.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
What's the danger? You're worried about fires?
They were worried about fire. Yeah, but specifically fire, and specifically a lightning kind of
It's
thing.
pretty.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
We have tree strikes from lightning all the time.
yeah.
It
I
hits
think
the
that
ground, it dissipates. It doesn't,
The greater danger might be from someone going back there,
Right.
some younger person.
We'll
going
have
back there
somebody-
to
Mayor,
smoke a
we'll have-
cigarette or something like
we'll
Yeah.
have somebody look at it, we can get a
Yeah.
report back to the township.
Well, you know, my head started to be aware of things like that from you, actually. You were telling me, Tom, you were telling me, or us, about that fire that happened under the porch of a house not too long ago. Remember?
Yeah,
Was-
electrical fire.
Oh, it was
But
electrical.
it went under the porch, because it's not as electrical fire, it just happened to have a porch there.
Oh, I thought it was.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
electrical fires.
Okay. Well, I wasn't aware of that, and I thought of
that. Wyckoff?
electricity, lightning, you know, and I thought maybe.
Well, we had another one on Payne Road and James Way,
Mm-hmm.
where someone left a cigar on the deck,
Oh,
burned the whole place down.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that was the one.
One
Yeah,
cigar.
yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, I'm reporting to you people's concerns, as you know. Sometimes I have no idea, and I always like to go and look, but I didn't this time. But thank you very much for telling me that, and tell me, I'm going to try to explain the thing about the berm, but I have some very strong opinions in our area. So thank you very much. I don't mean to belabor this at all. I will tell you that one of our people, and you'll get a kick out of this, didn't know why the Department of Public Works, Matt, wasn't volunteering to maybe have some kind of a free area where they could set up books for the people in Wyckoff. And I said, oh, well, I'll think about that. And I thought, I'm not going to come to the township and tell them that some of their employees ought to volunteer to make a library for
The
the.
library's right here. You know
Huh?
the books they have?
No, they're talking about discarded books. Like Wellesley has
We have a book, a used
Recycling.
book recycling receptacle at the DPW, at the recycling center. It's been
Right.
there, it's been there for years.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
well, she wanted them to build some shelter down there so that they could browse the books.
That becomes a little, that becomes
Yeah.
a little library.
Well,
Yeah.
I understand that. So I wasn't going to bring that to you, but I thought you would be amused about it. I mean, people are always thinking what they can tell you what to do. But thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Please come back next year.
See you
I'm
next year,
coming back.
Janet.
Okay, good.
That'd be great.
All right, seeing, hearing, and no one else, I move to close public comment.
Second?
Mr. Madigan,
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong,
Yes.
Mr. Shanley.
Yes.
And Mayor Boonstra.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
You take a motion for the approval of the December 6th, 2022 Township Committee work session and regular business meeting.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second?
Mr. Madigan,
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong,
Abstain.
Mr. Shanley.
Yes.
And Mayor Boonstra.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
All right, on to the consent agenda.
We have several resolutions that Matt reviewed earlier. Authorized towing licenses, authorized shared service for sewer cleaning, authorized shared services for sewer TV inspection, endorse Hope Christian Services grant proposal, approval of vouchers and authorization to pay bills, return of certain overpaid taxes, fees, etc., budget transfers, renewed shared service with Bergen County Health Services, extending contract for solid waste collection and transportation to approved disposal facility service, and recycling collection and transportation to approved recycling market service. We have no ordinances for introduction and no motions for introduction. May I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second,
Mr. Madigan?
yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Boonstra.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved. I have one ordinance for public hearing further consideration on tonight's agenda. It's ordinance number 1972, which is an ordinance to provide for and determine the rate of compensation for employees of the Public Works Department of the Township of Wykoff and the method of payment of such compensation for the year 2023, for second reading by title only. And a copy of this ordinance has been posted on our municipal website, on the bulletin board in Town Hall, where public notices are customarily posted, and copies have been made available to members of the general public of the township who have requested the same.
I move the ordinance on second reading by title only.
Second,
Mr. Madigan?
yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Boonstra.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
This is the time and place for the public hearing on ordinance number 1972. And all persons who wish to be heard, please state your name and address before making your statement. If you wish to comment in person, if you wish to comment, please dial 201-891-7000, extension 2220, or step up to the microphone to comment.
Seeing and hearing no one, I move that the public hearing on ordinance 1972 be closed.
Second,
Mr. Madigan?
yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Boonstra.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved. Be it resolved by the Township Committee of the Township of Wykoff that ordinance number 1972, after public hearing and further consideration, is hereby adopted. Ms. Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish the notice of final passage of said ordinance in the official newspaper for the Township as provided by law.
I move the resolution.
Second,
Mr. Madigan?
yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Boonstra.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Okay, the sine die meeting, now here it says 11 o'clock.
Right, that's right.
Oh, 11:30, sorry.
It's
That's what I
11:30, so
Yeah.
That's what I said, I saw it 11.
be it known that it's 11:30, not 11 o'clock, so we'll change the motion.
All right, I move to recess this meeting to the January 1st, 2023 at 11:30 a.m.
Second,
Mr. Madigan?
yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Boonstra.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Motion to adjourn?
Oh, no, we just recessed
Oh, right,
to
we're not
sine
adjourning.
die. We don't have, we're not adjourning. We
Just want to get out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you all.